Everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. Absolute pleasure. Love your questions. Keep them coming. Entertainment only. For this reading, I'm going to use the Golden Universal Tarot. My previous reading, I used the Gilded Tarot Royale, so I do apologise that I don't think I mentioned that. What I am going to read on, I've had this written in my notebook for a week now, but boy, things got a bit in the way. Ziklag. Cash Peters did a reading on this last night, has prompted me to have a look because Cash uses pictures, whereas I use cards and listen to my guides. So different formats of readings. Now, Ziklag is a charity that is backed by billionaires. I believe they've got about 12 million in there at the moment, but I'm dubious that there's more. So it's set up as a charity, so ergo tax breaks. But what's happening is that Ziklag, the charity, is donating to political spheres in an attempt to get around 1 million voters in swing states to be purged from the electoral rolls. Now, man, it's not like we couldn't see this happening. Sort of ties in with the Roger Stone. If you put Roger in the search option, you'll find it. Reading that I did a couple of weeks ago. But I want to have a bit of a look. Now, if you don't watch Cash Peters, please go put them in your search option for YouTube and go and have a look. Absolutely fabulous. And another one that I would recommend highly is Beau, B-E-A-U, of the fifth column. So what I want to have a look is Ziklag. Now I'm really feeling instead of, as well as, I did recommend a couple of weeks ago that you start, instead of saying, "G'day, how are you?" say, "G'day, are you registered to vote?" And if they say no, encourage them, help them, whatever. I'm actually thinking we're at a shift now, that it needs to be, instead of "G'day, are you registered to vote?" it needs to be "G'day, have you checked your voter registration?" Another one of my beautiful viewers messaged me and said, "Thank you for the reminder to check your registration," because she checked it yesterday or whenever it was, and found that her first name had been misspelt on the registration, which means that her vote would have been deemed invalid, inability to vote. So please check your registration, put it on your social media. Just you don't need to try and persuade anybody to vote any particular way. Just prompt them to check. And I gather you can do it online. So check your registration. If somebody comes back and says, "Oh, I'm not computer savvy, how do I do it?" Help them. That may be, I keep saying you can only do what you can do in regards to helping with this election. And if that's what you can do, go for it. Absolutely. So let's have a look at this Ziklag, and will they be successful? Bit of a worry, if it's a tax-free tax avoidance charity that is aiming to remove. Put it this way, I suspect if you've got a D behind your name, you're a target. So it may even be worth changing yourself to unaffiliated. I don't understand why. I do understand that you have to be affiliated to be able to check it, to vote in the primaries, but they're over with. They're done. So, there's oligarchical money behind this, and smoke and mirrors, and we've got then the causing chaos and disruption. So do not feel. I would highly recommend that you, if you can and you can do it online, just remove the D from behind your name. But first and foremost, check regularly. If it takes a couple of minutes on your computer, just say, "Okay, every Friday, I'm going to check my voter registration." Because this is, I'm going to say, this is about not just Donald Trump, but the ideology of Donald Trump versus the US, versus democracy. This is a cycle that we're going through. So I'm asking about the voter registration. I'm putting the cards out because that's what I was talking about while I was shuffling. I'll take a look at the charity itself. But this is a cycle that we're in, and if I understand it correctly, Pluto has returned to the same spot that it was during the Civil War or something along those lines. This is the cycle of democracy, and you've reached this point that you were in the US at the when there was the Civil War, and it is the ideology of the Donald Trumps versus the United States, challenged by, well, there's Russia, Saudi Arabia, fingers all over this. Absolutely, fingers all over this voter deregistration. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. Foundation of this reading, we've got the legislators, we've got the all-seeing cat. I think this is women. Their foundation is women need to get their message brought forward, need to stand firm by their message. So check and check and check. In the past, so voter registration, women celebrating in the past. Been celebrating since the goodness me, was it 60s? Been celebrating since they got the right to vote. Been celebrating since they got the right to work, the right to get out of their own bank loan, the right to contraception, to be able to decide the family that they want. The women celebrating all the rights that they have won in the past. This is what is at stake. Not just women, but men too. Men who have daughters and wives and sisters and mothers. This is all, they're all caught up in this, tied up in this. Okay, crowning the reading. We have here the Biden administration, the Democratic administration. It's not just Biden, but this is about the cup. Is you can see in the cup, there are no secrets. This is very much about stability, emotional maturity, and emotional strength. So the Biden administration at the top here. I do feel that the Democrats, I keep seeing the Democrats will get in. I actually feel it'll be an overwhelming blue, I'm going to call it a blue wash. It feels, instead of a crashing wave, it just feels like when you're at the beach and the waves just wash in over the sand, it feels like a wash, a gentle transition. So yeah, check your registration. Immediate future, contracts and agreements that are here. I'm getting talk to others about this. Absolutely. Talk to others. Help them if they need it. I'm also getting here again this health symbol, as in the medical profession symbol here. There might be some sort of agreement medically that if one side goes, then the other goes as well. But this, to me, this is about working together. Okay, externally, the voter. Absolutely, externally, working together to ensure that everybody's vote counts and will be counted. Internally, there's dark money behind the scenes here, trying to create the future that plotters are wanting. So just be aware there is work going on behind the scenes that is paid for to create whatever these two are after. So just be aware. Hopes and fears, strength, feminine strength, compassionate strength. Those that are trying to do this are fearful of the power of women. Goodness me. I think you'll find that the majority of those that get tossed off the roll not only have a D behind their name, but are women. So if whatever you will use as a form of ID whether it's your driver's license or your state ID or your student ID or whatever it is, make sure that your voter registration is exactly the same, that it's not missing a hyphen, that it's not got an I instead of an E, whatever it is. Please, 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 because they fear the strength of the compassionate female vote. Okay, the outcome. Oh, yeah. I feel that they will be successful in some form. This is why it's so important. This might even just be what they're trying to do. This is the getting you off the vote. It is so important that the blindfold be taken off and we see clearly what they are trying to do. Get that message out there and trample that king underfoot. Trample that devil energy underfoot, because this is about an ending, bringing about a significant change, an ending of the old guard and bringing in the new. It's not Biden himself, but this is the. I'm getting I'm going to say a double-edged sword here. This is the Two of Swords. Sorry if it's a bit glary. We've got a cloudy day and I've got the overhead lights on. This is a double-edged sword. There are two options here in response to this, what they're trying to do. It can either be the ending of all that we have fought for in the past and gained as a society as a whole, or it could be the end of this devil energy. The choice is in your hands. Take the blindfold off and do not be ignorant in regards to this. Oh, I'm just feeling awful, awful, awful energy. Here we've got the Emperor, the dictatorship, autocrat, my way or the highway control with mercenary actions, so money being paid for mercenary actions in regards to the government, and they're trying to keep it secret. They don't want you knowing. They don't want word getting out there. Oh, this is just awful energy. Awful. Oh, again. And I keep telling you it's going to get absolutely crazier before the election, so buckle up your seatbelts. And if this is what you can do, because time is a-changing as we return to this positive, balanced state of politics, of governance. Times are changing, and those that there's an element that don't want that to occur, that we move back to good for all. Now, I'm really talking about those that are trying to create, and they have been for decades, the working poor. Basically, that is just having a slave labour force where the slaves are forced to pay for their own housing and food. I'm just leaving it like that. But let's have a look. Will they succeed? Ziklag. I'm not trying to scare you, but if it does scare you into taking action, then good. Channel that fear into actually doing something. So show me Ziklag itself, the energies of Ziklag, and will it be successful? Manipulation and shape shifting there. Okay, show me the energies of Ziklag. Show me the energies. In case you're wondering, it's Ziklag. Show me the energies of Ziklag, and will they be successful? Show me the energies of Ziklag. What they're doing is they're disguised as a charity trying to purge voter rolls in swing states. Show me, please. Full illumination and finding themselves nakedly exposed. So, first of all, yes. Now, interestingly enough, Cash Peters, when he went into their energy yesterday, got the flower opening and full of bright light that they believe in what they're doing. They're not doing it through malicious means. They believe that this is what they're supposed to be doing, whoever is involved. However, I do prefer my version. So yes, they do believe in what they're doing. They think they're the divine intervention, that this is their purpose, whoever's involved in this. But I do also see that they are going to find themselves nakedly exposed in regards to what they're trying to do. So get the message out there. And it's very much about second signifier, about I'm just going to say removing people from the role. That's the feeling I've got. You've got the electoral roles here, but what is actually dispersed is reduced. So I do feel, and then you've got the woman here, and you've also got the man and his robes that have shades of purple on them as well. Purple being the spiritual colour. Oh yeah, it really reeks of first of all, keeping the money in the hands that they believe the money should be kept in, and again, the slave labour force, the working poor, where people don't have a choice; they have to take what is on offer, because if they don't, then they lose their health benefits, they lose their housing, they lose everything, so they're forced to take the crumbs that are on offer. So to me, this is again double whammy card, same as that was a double whammy card as well. So do not underestimate. However, in the energies behind the scenes, we've got the sword here. This again double-edged sword. They're wielding the sword, cutting off the dead wood, but it's also the sword of truth being presented as well. There may even be a court case in regards to this. I think what they're going to do is they're going to target women for obvious reasons, but there may be a court case that's brought forward in regards to this, because it's also my prosecution card, one of my prosecution cards. We've got here the Page of Pentacles, aside from this, next to this, coming out of this sword, an offer of money being made, a message of money being made, people getting paid for doing this. And here is my second prosecution card. This is my Jack Smith, Alex Whiting type card. So this may be women and men banding together to bring forward this truth, and or it may be that there is a court case or a couple of court cases in regards to this to expose them for what they're doing. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not my SCOTUS energy. Now you got to remember, if you think, oh, it's only one vote, it's only my vote, doesn't matter. You got to remember that the Gore-Bush election back in 2000 was won. Technically, it was won by Gore, and I'm not talking popular vote. I'm talking, what do they call it, the electoral vote or something. But the SCOTUS overturned a number of votes. I think they might have been mail-in votes or something like that in Florida, which then gave the win to, and Jeb Bush was I believe, the dude in Florida at the time, the governor. So what happened is it went to the SCOTUS, and the SCOTUS, I think, was a 7-2 Republican SCOTUS, which is similar to what you got now. You got was it 7-2? If you got 9 on there at the moment, or have you got 11? Whatever it was, there were 9 Republicans and 2 Democrat-appointed SCOTUS judges, whichever way it goes. There was only 2 Democrat-appointed judges on the Supreme Court, so it was a highly GOP Supreme Court. In Florida, Jeb Bush had brought a court case forward, I believe, to cast out a number of votes. They may have been mail-in votes, or they might have been votes from a certain certain ballot box or something like that. I don't know what it is. I haven't really gone into it. The court case went to SCOTUS. SCOTUS ruled in favour of um, George W. Bush winning the election at that time. And so therefore George W. Bush, the warmonger, became the president. Could have had Al Gore instead, but for the want of a few hundred votes. So if you think your vote doesn't count, think again. Okay, that's my preaching to the converted. Karma hanging over the Ziklag charity. I'm just going to say they're going to try and steal the truth. It is the Six of Swords. It is about moving forward, moving on, but the swords all packed up, pointed downwards, and skulking out under the cover of these, almost I would say a dark night, because it's not a blue, undercover. So trying to steal, treason, betrayal, heartbreak, loss, despair. This is their intention. Grief for the American people, for the voter. Don't want to be turning up on to the ballot box on vote on the 5th of November and find out that you've been cast off. Right, however, the best of democracy will prevail. So it's almost what I'm feeling is not only do you need to print out your dot points of Project 2025 and leave them in the shopping trolleys, I would also make up some big signs and just stick them up around town or wherever you leave them, just simply saying in very bold print, have you checked your voter registration? None of your business which way, and just have you checked your voter registration, and then put a little note down the bottom saying something, put Ziklag, a reference to, like just a little couple of words, research Ziklag or something along those lines. But democracy will hold, because I did ask how it's going to turn out. The guardrails are going to stand. So Ziklag might find itself with its back up against the guardrails here, hanging on to its message, because karma's going to come and bite them on the bum, and it is time for change. Not change from Biden, but change from this energy that's been brewing since the 1970s. And it is the female vote. And they are smart women. It is time. Absolutely. But what is happening is something out of left field. It's going to restrict Ziklag, I'm getting here. I was looking at the restriction of the female vote. So something's coming out of left field in regards to their attempt to restrict the female vote, and they're plotting behind the scenes on behalf of the decrepit old, those that have been feathering their nests are going to have some secrets revealed about them, about their emperorish dictatorship ways and their poor choices. So there's skilled work going on behind the scenes that's going to bring this to an end. They're going to have to defend themselves. They're going to be unhappy with the result. And here's my Biden administration card. So, okay, I shall hop off my little soapbox there. I think I'm preaching to the converted. But if that is something that you feel that you can do that is not putting you out harm's way, even if you just simply print off a whole heap of them or paint up a whole heap of them and stick them to power poles around town under the darkness of night or something along those, you're not telling people how to vote. You're just telling them, have you checked your voter registration? And leave it like that. Okay, thank you for joining me. Love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.